Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sunny Savita and I am back with another exciting and useful video, guys. So guys, I started with the memory chapter, and in the previous class I discussed about the conversation buffer memory and conversation buffer window memory. And before that, guys, I discuss about this RAG with memory, how you can sustain the memory inside your RAG pipeline, and how you can create a history aware retriever. Okay. Now, before that, I discuss how you can sustain the memory inside your chatbot application. If you are using the LLM, large language model, for creating a chatbot application, how you can maintain the state of your conversation. So, guys, if you haven't checked with this particular video, please go and check. It is very much important if you want to create a full flag system, full flag application along with a conversation history, or if you want to manage the different state of the conversation with respect to the different users. So this video will help you. This video will help you. Now, related to this memory, guys, the concept was still remaining. So first of all, let me tell you those particular concept, and I hope you have seen the title of this particular video, and I hope you got to know the idea that which class we are going to discuss, which memory class we are going to discuss. But let me give you the recap. So this is the notes, guys, which I written in my previous session. If you don't know about it, please go and check with my previous class itself. So guys, there was a four main class basically which I introduced with respect to this memory and all. So the first class was the conversation buffer memory, which we already discussed. Okay, conversation buffer window memory. I also discussed this class as well. Now, guys, a couple of more classes like conversation summary memory. So how to like keep the memory in the form of summary. That we have to see now. So in the next video, I will show you this third and fourth this third and fourth point. Okay, this two classes I will be clarifying over there. Now, in today's video, we're going to discuss about this conversation entity memory, that with respect to any entity, how we can sustain the memory. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start. First of all, let me give you the quick idea about this conversation summary memory, sorry, conversation entity memory, and then we'll discuss the practical as well. So, conversation entity memory, here you can see, basically, so let me explain you first of all about the entity. So here you can see inside this particular term, we have three words. First is conversation, second is entity, and third is a memory. So I hope you got to know the idea. We are going to sustain the memory with respect to the conversation. Okay. So here we have a conversation and we have a memory, right? But this memory, guys, is directly belong to the entity, right? This memory is directly belong to the entity. Now let me explain you this thing one more time. So we are going to sustain the memory with respect to the conversation, means whatever talk we are doing. And this memory, guys, this memory, it belong to the entity. Now you must be thinking, Sunny, what is this entity? I'm not getting your point. I'm not getting your point at all. Please tell me about this memory. So, guys, here I written couple of example with respect to memory. So, inside the conversation, inside the text, okay. So, this example could represent to the entity, right? So, let's say if I'm saying person, person means Sunny. Let's say Sunny, Mayank, or any sort of a person, any person, whether it's a male or female, doesn't matter. That person itself is an entity. Okay, then a location, location wise, any location, is Paris, New York, New Delhi, or whatever location, right? If the location has been mentioned inside your inside this location has been mentioned inside your conversation, means that is representing to the entity. Then organization, like any XYZ organization like Google, Microsoft, NASA, or Meta, Netflix, whatever organizations we have, those are representing to the entity. Now any sort of a events, okay, so events wise, it could be anything like any sports event, any like a mega event, any cricket event, right? Or any Olympic event, or maybe any type of event, whatever kind of event basically you are able to think in your mind, those event, it will come inside the entity only. Then object like car, phones, okay, non-living object, those also come inside the entity. So I hope you got the clear-cut idea with respect to the entity. Now let's understand using the example, guys. So guys, here I capped one example of the conversation. It's just a dummy conversation, okay, which I capped over here. So let's understand the meaning of entity, okay, memory entity related to this particular conversation. Then I will show you the practical part. Got it? So let's say here we have a human. Human is asking some question to the AI. So he's talking with the AI guys. So the question is, or the like message is, Sunny and Mayank are both working on the hackathon project. Okay. So now AI is saying that's awesome. What is a hackathon project about? So here human is saying means the person who is chatting. It is saying it's a machine learning project focused on the healthcare part. Okay. Then AI is saying sounds exciting. Are they building a prediction model or something else? So yes, they are working on the model to predicting patient outcome and impressive using you the sunny manner. This the conversation, right? I hope you got to know this simple conversation between this human and the AI itself. Now, where this memory and where this entity lies over here, let me explain you that part, and then I will give you the practical, guys. So let's say if we are taking the first sentence, so here inside the first sentence, easily you can identify. So this Sunny and Mayank, this both guys, right? This could be any name. I'm just taking example, so don't be confused over here. So this Sunny and Mayank is representing to what? It is representing to the entity. Okay. Now, guys, here, whenever we are going to, whenever we are going to create a uh, conversation entity memory, so here first a variable, okay, it will keep the entire history, the entire conversation. So this is my conversation. Okay, this particular conversation will come over here as a value. So it will create a dictionary basically. So let me mention the dictionary over here. So it will create a dictionary. Let's say here is a history, and here what I will get, I will be getting my message. Okay, this particular messages. Now, guys, what it will do, it will identify the entity. Okay, from this particular message. So let's say here I am writing entity, it will identify the entity from here. So let's say my entity is what? So my entity is Sunny over here. Okay, Sunny. And let's say my one more entity is what? Mayank. Okay, Mayank. So guys, what it will do? It will write some summary. Okay, summary with respect to this particular entity based on this history. Getting my point? So this is this memory, this class, what it is doing on, So why we use this conversation entity memory class? So this class, guys, it is going to capture the history, it's going to capture the history with respect to the specific entity. Getting my point? So let's say here in my conversation I have a multiple entities. Let's say here is what? Here's my company. Okay, let's assume that we have one XYZ company. Now we have one location. Okay, so let's say one specific location I can write, let's say Delhi over here. Here we have a person. Okay, let's the person name is Sunny. Or we have some event. Okay, let's say here I'm saying Olympic. So we are going to capture the conversation, but from that particular conversation we are going to extract this entity. Okay, and we are going to capture the entity specific information. I hope you are getting my point. Again, I'm repeating, and then I will go to the practical. So guys, here you can see this is my conversation, this is my entire conversation. Okay, so I'm starting from the first point itself, from the first like question and answer itself. So let's say here I pass this message to my model, and this is what? This is my answer. So guys, this is going to become my history now. Okay, so this particular conversation, it will be capturing inside the history. Okay, inside this particular key. I hope you got it. Now, guys, from this history, what it will do? Okay, from this conversation, what it will do? It will try to capture the entity, and it will try to keep the summary, it will try to keep the summary with respect to this particular entity. So whenever my next conversation will happen, so related to this particular entity, I can ask anything, I can ask any sort of a thing. So this is entity specific memory. I hope this thing is clear to all of you. Now let's like go back to the practical. So for the practical, guys, we required couple of library, and here we are going to implement the entire practical inside the Google Colab itself. Later on, I will be, so after this one and after one more topic, the topic name is evaluation part. I will come to the end-to-end project, and there I will show you the complete development using the VS Code. How you can use the VS Code for doing the complete development and all. So no need to worry as of now. Just look into the like a single solution. Okay, and then I will explain you that part as well. Otherwise, you can check out with my previous video. See, over the like YouTube channel now, I have already uploaded couple of projects. So end to end this e-commerce chatbot, dialog flow chatbot, okay, and multiple application, multiple end-to-end application related to the RAG. And inside the live session also, I created some like end-to-end application itself. So I have many more thing, right? So just utilize this particular content, right? Try to implement it from your end, and try to take references of these particular use cases, and try to implement it inside your own use cases, right? Now let's go back to the practical. So here we require this LangChain, we require this LangChain community, and here we require this LangChain Google Generative AI. So here this particular package LangChain Google Generative AI is for accessing the model. Here we are going to access the Google Gemini model, because OpenAI is not free. We have to pay some amount. If we are using the API key, we have to add the we'll have to add the credit card. So that's why I'm not going to choose that particular option. And that's why I'm using this Google Generative AI. We have many more other option, like we can use the Hugging Face based model, but in some other use cases we'll use it, and already I have used it in my previous couple of videos, so you can go and check out. Now coming to the next part. So here what I'm doing, I'm going to import this filter warning. So what wherever basically I will get the warning, it won't showcase that particular message. Now I'm going to take the API key. So from where I'm going to take it, so I'm going to take it from this particular vault, okay, where I already saved my Google API key. And how I have generated this API key, I generated this API key from the Google AI Studio. If you don't know about it, guys, please go and check out with my previous session. I'm not going to repeat again this particular part. So here I got my API key as a inside this particular variable, and I'm going to setting up it as a environment variable. Okay. So this step is done. Now coming to the next part over here. So in the next one, we are going to import this chat Google Generative AI, so that I can access my Gemini model. So here guys, I'm going to access my Gemini model. Now after accessing it, what I'm doing, I'm going to run it and checking whether it is working fine or not. So it, it is generating an answer, means it is working fine. You can check out with any other sort of any other type of message, and it will give you the answer. Now what I'm doing, guys, here I'm going to import this class Conversation Entity Memory class. Okay. So after importing this class, what I'm doing, so here inside this particular line, okay, just focus over here. Where is my cursor? So wherever, so here inside this particular like a line, what I'm doing, I'm creating an object. Okay. So along with the object, inside the object, while I'm creating an object, I'm passing my model as well. So first of all, we need to look that what all parameter, what all method is available inside this particular class. Okay. So what you can do, you can go through with the API, okay, LangChain API, which will provide you the complete detail of the different classes. So here guys, what I did, see, let me show you the home page of this memory. I think this page, this api.python.langchain.com, already I have shown you in my previous video. So if you don't know about it, please go and check with those videos as well. You will get a pretty a pretty good idea related to this api.python.langchain. But here again, I'm going to repeat this part, okay, in short. So this is the home page of the memory, and here you'll find out all the memory classes. See this one. Now here, which memory class we are implementing? We are implementing this Conversation Entity Memory. So just open this particular class, okay, just do the right click and open it inside the new tab, and see here, this is all the parameter, guys. This parameter which this class is taking, means whenever we are going to create an object of this particular class, right? So we can pass these particular parameter, okay, we can change it. So here this LangChain is giving us this here this LangChain is giving us a functionality, so that we can change the low level detail also of these classes, right? So for that, you will have to go through with this particular page. You will have to understand the entire parameter. Now guys, this two parameter is very much important with respect to this class. So the first parameter is a LLM, because whenever we are going to extract the entity, okay, so what we are doing, tell me, from the given conversation, from the given data, we are going to extract the entity. So how we going to do that? We're going to do that using this LLM only. So here you will find out, we are going to write the prompt as well. So this is my prompts, okay, and here is the LLM. So this is this two variable, this two parameter is very much important. Okay, so parameter entity extraction prompt. See, this is the complete prompt. Don't worry, I will show you this particular prompt. I already kept in my notebook. And here is entity summarization prompt. So first we are going to collect the entity, and then with respect to that particular entity, okay, with respect to that particular entity, what I'm doing, I'm going to make a summary from where? From the history, from that particular conversation. So we have an entity, we have a summary of that particular entity, and that summary from where we are taking it from the history of the conversation. I hope this part is clear. Now coming to the next part. So here if you will scroll down, you will get the different methods as well. So a clear, a load memory, okay, a save context. This is async method. And here we have the same method. Okay, it's not a async method, it's a sync one. So what is the difference between async and sync method? I will explain in one dedicated video. So don't worry about it. As of now, we are not going to use any async method. Here we are going to use the normal method, the synchronized method. So here load memory variable and the save context, this two is a very important class. Sorry, it is very important method inside this class, and I will let you know what this method is doing. So I hope this thing is clear. Now get now again go back to the practical. So here guys, let's try to check with some example. So after creating an object, here what I'm doing, I'm calling this method load memory variables, right? So I'm passing this particular input. Input in the input, I'm saying I'm a very hungry. So if you will look into the sentence, you will find out that we don't have any sort of entity, right? Let's see whether my model is able to detect or not this thing. Means this class object is able, means this LLM model based on the prompt is able to detect or not something. So first I'm executing it. Now here I'm running it. Let's see what will be the output. So here the output is history is nothing, means we don't have any sort of a history. We are just directly checking with this given inputs only, and see it is not going to capture any sort of an entity over here. Then I'm passing this input, and let's see whether it's going to capture some entity or not from this particular sentence. So yes, I'm running it, I'm executing it, and I see it is able to capture the entity like Sunny and Mayank from this particular sentence. Okay, but guys, unfortunately we don't have any sort of a history over here. Don't worry, I will keep the history, okay, using this particular method. As I was telling to you, know, this two method, load memory variable and this save context, are two important method over here. So using this particular method, right, which one to using the save context, we can keep some conversation. Okay, so here let's check with some other messages. So let's check with some other inputs. So here is my next input is my name is John and I'm planning to trip for Paris. So let's run it, let's execute it, and see here I'm getting the history. Here I'm getting the entity. The first entity is John and the second entity is Paris. Now along with the entity, guys, see it is going to capture each and everything in the form of dictionary, right? And along with the entity, you'll find out this empty string. Why it is so? Tell me. If you are able to get it, if you are able to get my theory, so then definitely you can answer for this question. Here we are not getting any sort of a value. Why? Because we don't have any history. It's going to be create a summary. Okay, it's going to create a summary from this history only. So whatever history will be there, the history of the conversation, based on that it will create a, tell me, the summary of the entity. Okay, now coming back to the next one. So here see let me execute this part and see what I will be getting. So I'm passing the input. Sunny is a great person who values the gratitude, and here it is able to capture the entity. Now let's keep some messages. Okay, let's save some messages, and then again we'll execute it. So here means the model is saying Sunny and Mayank are working on a hackathon project. And here guys, you will find out. So AI is saying that's awesome, what is the hackathon project about? So I'm going to save this thing inside my memory. Okay, so using the save context method. Now here I am going to pass this message, who is Sunny, right? So guys, see this one, this history. Okay, from this history, guys, this Sunny and Mayank. Okay, this Sunny and Mayank is nothing, it's a, tell me, who is this guy? The Sunny and Mayank is nothing, it's a entity. So it is going to capture the summary with respect to this particular entity. Okay, this Sunny and Mayank. Now let me execute this method, memory dot load memory variable. So once I will load it, guys, so here now you will find out the history. So what is my history? This conversation is my history. Now from this conversation, it is able to capture this entity. Okay, and here based on this particular entity, right? So here from this particular conversation, tell me it is able to capture this entity and now see the summary of this particular entity. See, I am asking who is Sunny. Okay, who is Sunny? So here I am passing this particular input, getting my point. So already it is able to capture the entity. It is capture the entity. Now from this particular history, it will make a answer. It will make a summary, getting my point, with respect to this entity. So if we want to capture the entity specific information, in that case, we should go with this particular class. I hope you are getting my point. Now just look again to this particular example. The thing will be clear to all of you. Now let's keep some other conversation. So I'm going to save this conversation, memory dot save context. Okay, then here memory dot save context, this particular conversation. Now you can see the messages and all. So here I'm asking again, who is Sunny, right? Who is Sunny? So guys, now you can see. So let me execute it. So once I will execute this particular part, you'll find out we have a huge history. Okay, we have a huge history of the messages till here we have a history, okay, of the messages, history of the conversation. Now from this particular history, okay, so from this particular history, tell me, from this particular history, it is able to capture what? It is able to capture the entity, and the Sunny and Mayank is one of the entity from this conversation. Now if I'm going to ask anything related to that entity, who is Sunny? So see, entity is what? Sunny, and it is giving me a detail about it. It is giving me a summary about it. How? Tell me, based on this particular history. So are you getting my point? Yes or no? So here we are going to capture what we are going to capture. We are going to capture the history of the messages, and here we are going to parse the information. We are going to sustain the information with respect to the entity. So this is what? This is conversation entity memory. So with respect to this particular entity, we are going to capture the memory. Okay, we are going to capture the memory. I hope this is clear. Now what I'm doing here, so I told you that here inside this particular API, what we are doing, we are going to write some prompt. So this is my prompt, guys. Okay, this one. Now you can read this particular prompt. So I have kept this thing inside the inside this basically notebook itself. So please go and check. Please try to go and read this particular prompt. Automatically the idea will be clear how we are going to capture the entity from the given messages. Now this is one of the prompt. Okay, so this two prompt is here. You can customize it according to your requirement, and you can, and again, you can pass it to the class itself. So this is the class now. So here we are creating an object of this class. So while you are creating a class, you can pass this particular prompt. Okay, this one at line number 11 itself. Okay, so now coming to the main part, main conversation. So here I'm going to create a conversation chain with this memory class. So automatically everything will be done by this chain itself. We just need to pass the component only. In the backend, they have written a functionality in such a way this both method is going to be called this save context and this load memory variables. Okay, now what I'm doing here, see. So here I'm going to import the class. Okay, conversation chain. If you want to know more about this particular class, so here what you can do, you can go through with this API itself. I think somewhere here. So here basically this is the class. Now these are the parameter. So you can read the complete detail of the parameter, and here they have given you one code snippet also. You can check it from your end. You can check the details of the method as well. See, this is all the parameter along with the detail, and here is all the methods, right? So guys, if you want to check the detail of this particular class, the conversation chain, please go and check from here, from this api.langchain.com. Now what I'm doing, so I'm going to create an object of it. So first of all, let me import all the necessary statement. And here one more thing you will find out. So we are going to import this entity memory conversation template. Now from where we are getting it? So we are getting it from the langchain.memory.prompt. Okay. So guys, if you will go and check with the official GitHub of the LangChain itself. So just go and check with the official GitHub. Here is a GitHub, guys. Just look into the repository, and the LangChain repository is a most important one over here, this one. So here just go inside the library, and then go inside the LangChain, and here open this LangChain, and then open this uh memory. Okay, so inside the memory we have a, there is a memory. Let me check out this one. So inside the not memory, guys, I think it is prompt. So here just go and check with the prompt, guys. So inside the prompt, see, this is all the prompt. Okay, so you can look into the different prompt basically. So which prompt we are going to use over here. So definitely you will get to know over here itself. See, prompt.py. It is going to be defined each and every prompt. You can navigate from here itself. Memory. Okay, inside the memory only. Sorry, it's my bad. Just a second. I was thinking it's a separate class. But it is inside the memory. So memory, and here inside the memory we have the prompt. And here inside the prompt, yes, so we are going to import this particular variable, entity memory conversation template. So this is the complete prompt template. Okay, you can read this prompt template and you can understand from your end, because it is just a simple English. So the main work of this prompt template is very simple. We are going to capture the entity and the history, okay, based on the particular input, mean the message. I hope this is getting clear to all of you. Now coming to the next part. So we are going to create an object of this conversation chain. Let me run it. Let me execute it. So we are passing this LLM model. Purpose is equal to true, means we want to check the complete detail of this particular execution. Then we have this entity memory conversation template. Okay, means this prompt. And then here is what? Here is my memory class. Okay, so everything is happening inside this memory. Whenever like we are going to whenever we are going to execute this chain now, so automatically memory and all everything is going to be saved. Okay, in such a way they have written a code in backend. If you want to check out, you can check out from the GitHub itself, because the complete code is a open source. Now what I'm doing here, so here after making an object of it, so I'm going to call this method, okay, conversation dot predict. Now you'll find out I'm passing this particular message and see what is happening. So here it is running, it is executing, and it is giving me answer. So it is saying that's great. I'm sure that's they are both very excited to we work together. Do you know what is project about? So here is what, guys, here we are making a generic conversation with what, with this particular chain. Now what is happening over here, so whenever we will pass this particular message, so it is going to be capture the complete history of the conversation, means it's going to capture this input message and this output message. And along with this along with it, what it is doing from the input message itself, it's going to capture the entity, okay, and related to that particular entity, it's going to keep the summary, right? It's going to keep the summary. So whenever I am going to ask anything, okay, inside the next message, okay, inside my next input, so it can fetch the answer directly. Okay, it can fetch the answer directly from the entity itself. It can take the help of that particular summary with respect to the entity, okay, because this is entity specific memory. I hope it is getting clear. So what I'm doing, so here I'm checking what is the entity, okay, and related to the entity what it is going to capture. So here I am calling this attribute, so conversation memory dot entity store, okay. So here once I will execute it, so here I will be getting the summary with respect to what, with respect to this entity Divin and Sam. So see, from this particular conversation, it captured this entity and it is going to make a summary. Okay, it is going to make a summary. Now, whenever we'll ask the next question, okay, so if this entity will come, okay, if the entity will come, this particular entity will come, so it will take this particular summary, and based on this summary, it will answer. Okay, based on this particular summary, it will give me the next answer. I hope this is clear. So what I'm doing, see, they are trying to add complex, more memory structure to the LangChain. So yes, I'm going to execute it. And here you can see it is giving me answer. But this answer is not related to the previous question. So it's an independent answer. But here, guys, you will find out further. I will show you the entity, all the entity. So you will find out that this LangChain is also contained as an entity itself. Okay. Now here I am going to ask one more question. So they are adding in a key value store for the entity mentioned so far in the conversation. So this is also a like an independent one. Here we are not going to highlight any sort of entity, so that it can take a reference of that particular summary. Okay, the entity summary. So here, see, this is the answer which I am getting from where, from my LLM itself. But still, guys, we are not going to use the previous memory. Still, we are not going to use the entity memory. Okay, this is the independent question which I am asking. Now see, from here the entity specific question is going to be start. So here I'm asking, what do you know about the Devin and Sam? So yes, I'm going to be executed, and already we have a summary. Okay, already we have a summary of this Devin and Sam, and based on that, it is giving me some details. So it is saying I don't know much about Sam and Damon specifically, but I can tell you they are very talented and passionate about individual. they are here it is saying they are both experienced as a software engineer with a strong like interest in artificial intelligence and all. See, it is giving me a complete detail. How it is giving to me? Based on the previous summary, okay, which is going to be captured from where? From the chat history. Now here, if you want to check all the entity, so let me execute it, and you will be able to find out all the entity and the summary with respect to those particular entities. So see, Devin, okay, this is a summary of the Devin, okay, with respect to this particular entity. Now here is a LangChain. LangChain is a concept, right? So with respect to the LangChain, it is giving me a summary, because LangChain is also being identified as a entity itself. Then we have a SAM, okay, with respect to the same, you will find out this particular summary, right? So these all are my entity, which I can take it like this. I hope you are getting. Now here I'm saying I'm going to add few more conversation. I'm saying Sam is a founder of the company called Diamond. So this Diamond company and this same is what? Now this is the entity, okay. So here I'm going to run it again, and guys, you will find out inside the same, okay, inside this particular summary, now this information also will be added, right? I will show you that particular part. So here, see, if I'm going to execute it, you will find out inside this particular same. So see, same is a working on a hackathon project with Devin in the and is a founder of this particular company. Are you getting my point? So it is updating the memory of the same. Like the conversation is going ahead, it's going to update the memory of the same in terms of that, in terms of this particular summary, okay, in terms of this particular summary. And here you will find out inside the entity is going to be add one more key, that is what? That's a diamond, right? Which is a company's name. I hope now everything is getting clarified. So here I'm asking, what do you know about the same? So it is going to capture each and everything from this particular summary, and based on that it will give me an answer. So see, I don't know much about the same specific, but I can do. He's a very talented person. He's an experienced software engineer, a strong engineer, and convert he will be able to. So see, it is giving me a complete detail like hackathon project and the other detail, which is able to capture it from this particular summary. I hope you are getting. So we need to, let me summarize the thing why it is so important. So if I will go ahead with my blackboard, so see what it is doing. So it's going to capture the history, okay. Based on this particular history, it's going to capture the entity, okay. Based on this particular conversation, it's going to be capture the entity, and then it is making a summary. Now whenever I'm going to ask any sort of a question based on this particular entity, okay, based on this particular entity, so instead of going to this history, okay, it is going through this particular summary, it is going through this particular summary, and it is generating the final and the next answer. I hope this thing is clear. Now once you will practice it from your end, you will get it for sure, and you can utilize this particular implementation inside your project also. So yes guys, I hope you like this you like this solution. Now I will meet you in the next video, where we'll discuss one more important topic, that is conversation summary memory and conversation buffer summary memory. So yeah, thank you, bye bye, take care, have a great day.